You're listening to The Tom Daniel Show, and I'm your host, Tom Daniel. Christmas is a season of light. We all know that. Candles, stars, twinkle lights, all those LEDs you swore you weren't going to use this year, but somehow did anyway. But Christmas is also a season of sound. And among all the sounds that announce its arrival, from choirs, carols, crackling fires, wrapping paper at 2 a.m, one sound still rises above the rest: the bell. Bells don't really sneak up on you, do they? They don't whisper politely from the corner of the room. Bells announce themselves. They say very clearly, "Hey, pay attention to me. Something important is happening." And for centuries, across cultures and continents, bells have been doing exactly that at Christmas. Today, I want to explore why. Why bells became inseparable from Christmas. Why winter seems to invite metal and air into conversation. And why something as simple as a piece of bronze struck at just the right moment can still stop us in our tracks. This is the story of Christmas bells, not as instruments, but as messengers of joy, memory, and sacred time. To understand Christmas bells, we have to start with bells themselves. Bells are among the oldest musical instruments on earth. Long before violins or pianos or anything that needed a tuning app, human beings were casting metal and discovering that when you strike it just right, the sound seems to last longer than the moment itself. Now, we find bells in Bronze Age China, in ancient temples across Asia, in classical Rome, in early Christian monasteries. Different cultures built them differently. Some struck from the outside, some swinging with clappers inside. But they all understood the same thing. Bells are for gathering people. Bells mark time. Bells establish presence. When a bell rings, it claims space. Medieval Europe took that idea and really ran with it. I mean, loudly. Church bells became the heartbeat of towns and villages. They marked the hours of prayer, called people to worship, warned of danger, announced celebration, and yes, sometimes reminded everyone whose church tower was a little bit taller than the rest. As the church year turned toward winter and Advent, bells took on a special role. They became heralds, sonic angels, if you will. Before choirs sang, before organs thundered, before anyone ever argued about whether it was too early for Christmas music, bells were already saying, "The season has begun." And here's the thing about bells. Musically, they're weird in the best possible way. Bells don't behave like polite Western instruments. Their overtones are complex and slightly unruly. The pitches don't line up neatly with the scales. That's why bells can sound ancient, luminous, and just a little mysterious all at once. When you add winter into that mix, and things get even better. There's a very real, physical reason bells seem to belong to winter. Cold air is denser than warm air, and denser air carries sound waves more efficiently. When temperatures drop, sound loses less energy as it travels, which means it goes farther, stays more clear, and retains its shape longer. High frequencies don't scatter as quickly, and low frequencies don't get swallowed up by the heat and humidity. In practical terms, that means a bell rung on a cold December night doesn't just sound louder, it sounds more focused, as if the air itself is paying closer attention. Metal benefits from the cold as well. Bronze and brass bells vibrate with extraordinary complexity, producing layers of overtones that shimmer and collide in ways the ear interprets as richness and depth. In warm, humid air, some of that shimmer is softened, blurred, or absorbed. In crisp winter air, though, those overtones remain intact, hanging in space just long enough to feel almost tangible. The bells decay, that slow fading of sound after the strike, becomes part of the experience, kind of an acoustic afterglow. It's one of those rare moments where physics and poetry are doing the same job. Winter doesn't just frame the sound of bells, it completes it. This is why bells have always belonged outdoors, high up in towers, sending sound across frozen fields and sleeping villages. Now imagine a medieval Christmas Eve. No streetlights, no engines, just dark, breath-clouding cold. Families step out of their homes, crunching over frost and snow, guided by torchlight. And above it all, a bell rings, slow, steady, unmistakable, not background noise, a summons. That sound didn't decorate Christmas, it declared it. Eastern Orthodox traditions developed bells differently, but no less powerfully. In Russia and Ukraine, bells aren't rung in tidy European patterns. They're played in rhythmic clusters called zvons, musical conversations built entirely from resonance. During nativity liturgies, those bells shift from solemn tolls to explosive joy, creating something that feels suspended in time. And out of that sound world came one of the most recognizable Christmas melodies on earth, that Ukrainian carol that we know as Shchedryk. You're listening to The Tom Daniels Show. We'll be right back.
What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show. What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show. What are you waiting for? The Tom Daniels Show.
Welcome back to the Tom Daniels Show, and what a great Christmas gift to receive from Mary Mac, a theme song loaded with bells. Mary Mac is the world's most perfect band, and out of that sound world came one of the most recognizable Christmas melodies on earth, that Ukrainian carol that we know as Shchedryk. Wait, what? Shchedryk? What is a Shchedryk? That's Carol of the Bells. Yeah, long before it became background music for holiday commercials, it was known as Shchedryk, a ritual song built to echo the pealing of bells across a cold night. And by the way, if you want to look it up, the word Shchedryk is spelled Shchedryk. When you see it written, it looks like you're going to have to imitate a starting lawnmower to pronounce it correctly. And if you tried to pronounce every consonant cluster, your tongue would file a complaint. But it's just Shchedryk. Across the Mediterranean, bells ring in Bethlehem itself. At the Church of the Nativity, bells have called worshipers to prayer for centuries. Christmas in Bethlehem is not quiet or sentimental. It's crowded, noisy, and alive. Bells mingle with chant, brass bands, and voices in Arabic, Greek, Latin, and Armenian. There, bells don't romanticize Christmas, they anchor it in history. In the British Isles, bells took on yet another personality. English church towers developed change ringing, a complex mathematical pattern rather than melody. On Christmas morning, towns rang these sequences, not just as celebration, but as proof of skill, discipline, and community. Every village had its own distinct sound, as distinctive as an accent. Germany and Austria brought bells indoors. Handbells appeared in homes and on trees. Bells shrank from tower-sized proclamations to intimate signals. A small ring might announce that gifts could be opened or that Christ had arrived. And don't forget, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Same instrument, different scale, same anticipation. And then there are sleigh bells, practical harness bells that became pure joy once they were paired with snow, motion, and winter travel. Their bright jingles slid easily into orchestras, then popular music, and eventually became shorthand for Christmas is happening right now. Even the Salvation Army understood the power of bells. On winter sidewalks, handbells accompanied brass bands, turning ordinary streets into sacred spaces. No cathedral required, just sound, intention, and cold air. Today, Christmas bells ring everywhere. Great basilicas, small rural churches, Orthodox monasteries, city streets, concert halls, movies, toys, doorways. They're so common we barely notice them, and yet they still work. Why? Because bells teach us something important. Their sound doesn't stop when the strike ends. It lingers, fades out slowly. Bells remind us that moments matter after they happen. Christmas, more than almost any season, is about time, memory, past and future brushing against each other. Bells mark that threshold. They ask us to pause, not rush, not scroll, not hurry, but listen. So this Christmas, listen closely, not just to the carols and playlists, but to the bells, big ones, small ones, sacred ones, silly ones. Each one is an invitation to remember, to gather, to notice where you are. I'm Tom Daniel. Thank you for listening to the Tom Daniel Show this year. However you celebrate this season, in a cathedral, quiet chapel, or a living room where a child rings a bell with absolute authority, may these sounds bring joy, reflection, and peace. And may the bells of this season ring not just loudly, but meaningfully. This has been the Tom Daniel Show. Keep listening. Keep learning.
Tom Daniel Show. You'll discover